What's going on? It's Wednesday.
Hello and welcome back to another video. For those of you that are new here, my name's Mel and I live full-time in my self-converted Mercedes Sprinter camper van, and that's pretty much what I make videos about, and occasionally I go metal detecting. So if that's something that interests you, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. Now today's Wednesday, so this is Waffle on a Wednesday, where I answer your questions to the best of my ability. Now I've got some really good questions this week, but before I answer those questions, I've got some really good news too. MaXpeedingRods, who are UK's leading supplier of cheap Chinese diesel heaters, are having a spring sale, so their diesel heaters are even cheaper. And not only that, they've given me a discount code to pass on to you, which makes them even ridiculously cheap. Now I've given out discount codes before in the past and I've had messages from people saying that they don't work. So in this instance I thought before I announce this discount code I'll actually give it a go. So I did. I went onto their website, I used the link that they supplied me, and I will put that link in the description of this video, and if I can unlock my phone I'll show you how much these diesel heaters are. So this was for a 5 kilowatt diesel heater, which is one of the most popular ones. I can't believe how cheap this is. Take a look at this for yourself. £79 for a diesel heater. I mean, that is ridiculously cheap. So if you're in the market for a diesel heater, save this video to your favourites and then click the link down below in this video and use the discount code MELVANLIFE. I'll also put that code down below as well. You need to use a capital M. Yeah, and it brings the price down to less than 80 quid. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You could actually buy a whole bunch of them and then sell them on eBay yourselves and make a little bit of a profit. So cheap, in fact, I'm actually going to buy another one. I'm going to buy an 8 kilowatt heater for my lockup for next winter, so I can do some winter projects in my lockup. So with that out of the way, let's get on with this week's Waffle on a Wednesday. Okay, so this first question really got me thinking, and it kind of reminded me of when I first started living in my van, or when I first started building my van actually, and my mental attitude at the time. So I'll just read this comment out, and this comes from Just Saying. Great vids, keep them coming, great inspiration, brilliant tips. Well, thank you very much, that's extremely humbling. Hoping to start my build on an extremely tight budget. Would you recommend solar panels? If so, what wattage would you recommend? On another point, what size battery and setup and amp hour would be perfect for van life? Thumbs up from me. And this really got me thinking. Let's just touch on the batteries first of all, and I'll let you into a little secret. When I first built my van, I too was on an extremely tight budget, and that's why I didn't actually film my battery installation at the time, because I used ordinary lead acid batteries that I brought from the breaker's yard. Just the biggest batteries I could find in the breaker's yard, and they cost me 15 quid each, and I used those batteries up until the time I brought some nice AGM batteries from Alpha Batteries, which is about just over a year ago now. So I actually lived in my van with just regular lead acid batteries, and I was embarrassed. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have been, maybe I should have shared that with you, and I kind of wish now that I had. But yeah, I was kind of embarrassed to be using those batteries. I didn't want to show the world how poor I was, basically. But the point I'm trying to make is you really don't need to buy expensive solar panels for your roof. You don't need to buy expensive lithium-ion batteries just to get into your van. You don't need all this Instagram picture perfect stuff in your van. Because if you are on a tight budget, the best thing you can do is buy a van and just move into it. Don't worry about all the little things. As long as you've got somewhere to shelter from the elements, and a fire to keep you warm, and something to cook on, and a mattress to sleep on at night, you're golden. You'll be good to go. Now I know this sounds really uncomfortable and undoable, but believe me, the less comfort you have, the more freedom you have, and the more comfort you have, the more trapped you are. And Bob Wells touches on this in a video that he made, and the name of his channel is CheepRVliving. I highly recommend you watch that video. I will put a link to that video up here if I can find it, and I'll also put a link to that video down here. And Bob on that video actually makes so much sense when he talks about comfort and freedom and weighing the two up and getting that balance between the two. It is so true what he says. And I really can't express my gratitude to Bob for making that video, because it really did resonate with me. It may not resonate with you, but it's definitely worth a watch. So please do go check out that video, because Bob explains it way better than I ever could. And I think you will find it really fascinating. I hope that answers that question. Now, I've had a lot of questions this week about getting keys cut by the AA after the video that I made. And the first question I'm going to read out concerning this comes from Top Cat. Now, Top Cat has actually got a YouTube channel, and he uploads videos about Australia, and some of those videos are really good and really fascinating. And he's also a member of my channel, so thank you, Top Cat. I appreciate your support, and I really do appreciate those videos you've been uploading. They are absolutely fascinating. So if you're interested in Australia and the outback of Australia, then check out Top Cat. I will put a link to his YouTube channel down below. Okay, so this is what Top Cat has to say. I don't believe it. Amazing that even with your AA membership fees, they still charge almost as much as Mercedes. But as you say, they came to you. Would the quote from the Mercedes include the under-dash work, or don't they need to go that route? Too much technology, smiley face. Well, Top Cat, the quote that Mercedes gave me actually did include 1 hour's labour at £100, because they wanted to take my van into their workshop. So my only guess is yes, they would have taken the steering wheel lockbox thingamajig, can't remember what it was called, out from underneath the dashboard to code the keys in exactly the same manner that the AA guy did it. So basically, yeah, they would have done the same work, I do believe. And once again, thanks for the great content you've been uploading lately. I really have been enjoying it. Hey Mel, I've just saw your videos on Sprinter build. Would you buy another Sprinter or a VW Crafter? And that comes from Rat6. That's a really good question, and I do get asked that quite often. Would I recommend a Sprinter or a Crafter? Well, at the time I brought Mary, the one thing I really wanted was air conditioning, and I was looking at Crafters and Sprinters, and whichever one came along first with aircon I would have brought, and it just so happens that this van was the one that came up with air conditioning, even though it's a medium wheelbase and I actually wanted a long wheelbase at the time. And just recently, it just so happens, I've been thinking about getting another van to build out. I would really like to try and find an extra long wheelbase, whether it be a Sprinter or a Volkswagen Crafter. To me it doesn't really matter, but the one thing I will prioritise rather than air conditioning is trying to get a van with as much service history as possible and with as least owners as possible. So the ideal van, I think, would be one with full service history, one owner, and around about 100,000 miles, if not less, as least miles as possible, I should say. So yeah, it really does depend on your priorities on what you want, and I think from experience that you really should prioritise trying to get a van with as much service history and with as least owners and with as low mileage as your budget allows. They're the priorities I will concentrate on when I next buy another van. That I can 100% guarantee you. I would probably never buy another van without service history ever again. Just look at all the problems I've had with this van. It's been relentless, it really has. Even after 3 years I'm still finding problems with this van. So having full service history would be my priority, whether it be a Sprinter or a Crafter. I hope that answers that question. Hi Mel, what fuel filter do you use with your heater? The last two I've got leaked. This one I have started leaking a few days ago, and it's only 3 weeks old. Mine is the clear barrel type that you can unscrew the top off. It has a rubber gasket that is meant to seal it when tightened. I would rather have a sealed fuel filter. Cheers mate. That comes from the original Dave. The original Dave. I've got a friend called Dave. I think everyone has. Actually, my best mate, his name's Dave. Come to think of it, he's my only mate. Anyway. Thanks Dave, great question. Now Dave, have you got your fuel filter positioned in the right place. Your fuel filter should be between your fuel tank and your fuel pump. That is where your fuel filter should be. If you've got your fuel filter between your pump and your heater, then the fuel filter is now in the high pressure zone of the system, which is where you don't want it. You want it the other side of the pump, so it's in the low pressure part of the system. Maybe that's why your fuel filter is leaking. As for the fuel filter I have in my van, I highly recommend getting a generic fuel filter from somewhere like Halfords, or you can probably buy them online. I'll have a look later, see if I can find one on eBay, and if I can I'll put it down below in the description of this video. You can buy these generic fuel filters that have stepped sizes, so you can use multi-pude? What sort of word's that? Most of the generic fuel filters have a stepped system on them, so you can attach a multitude of different size pipes. Like I say, I'll have a look for one. If I find one that I think suitable or similar to mine, I will put a link in the description of this video just for your convenience. Good luck, and I hope you get a filter that doesn't leak. But just remember, if you've got your filter between your pump and your heater, it's definitely in the wrong place. It needs to be in the low pressure zone, so it needs to be where the fuel is being sucked through the filter rather than forced through the filter under pressure. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Thanks for the great question. Photo Story, among many other people, have asked this same question. Quite a few people actually asked this, and that is, why is your pump located inside the van? Well, the simple answer to that question is I located my diesel heater, my fuel pump, my fuel filter, my fuel tank inside the van purely so that I could experiment with all that equipment and make videos for your enjoyment. That's the only reason I put everything inside the van, apart from the fact that when these things go wrong, they usually go wrong in the dead of winter, and I didn't want to lay underneath my van in snow and water and crud having to fix my diesel heater because it's outside my van. That's why I put everything inside my van. Hi Mel, great video, really useful content. I have a quick question, as I know you like a quick question. Yes, we do like a quick question. Will we be able to get a big van small wheel beanie hat anytime soon? Many thanks, love your channel. That comes from Daryl Bird. Hi Mel, was wondering, is there a big van small wheel beanie? And that comes from Deborah Bird. Brilliant. Yes, you can buy a big van small wheel beanie. You will find them in my merchandise shop below this video. You just need to click on it and then go to Spreadshirt's website and look at all the various t-shirts I've put on there, including beanies, caps. I think there's even a bandana for a dog with my logo on it. Happy shopping. I do appreciate the quick question and your support. Now, talking about your support, it is very important that if you enjoy what I do here on YouTube, to make sure you give this video a like or a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, then please do consider subscribing. After all, it is totally free to subscribe to my channel. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Oh, and if you've got a question for me, then please do leave it in the comment section of this video, and I will do my best to answer your questions next week. Ta-da for now.